cool things that we have on our platform that we think would be really neat is to try to transition campus to a more bike-friendly and walker-friendly campus. Hopefully cut down some of that traffic. One of the cool programs we have right now on campus that is utilized, but it's kind of inconvenient, is the bike rental program, where you can give your bike ID and rent a bike and ride it around campus for the day. So the bike rental program is great. What we'd like to actually do is work with the university, work with other student organizations across campus. It's something that USG would have, I think, have a hard time mobilizing on its own, but working with other groups and with the administration, add bike terminals in on different parts of campus. So essentially you'd be able to rent a bike on South Campus by swiping your ID, you'd be able to ride it to North Campus for a class or to visit a friend and drop it off at the terminal there. And there'd be an off-campus terminal too. So you could get, if you live near it, hopefully probably centralized off-campus near, Indianola, something like that, where you can pick up a bike, ride it to campus for the day, drop it off at the terminal by your class, or even ride it back to the terminal near your house. And so hopefully by, facilitating students not A, having to lock up their own bike across campus, and by B, just facilitating the ease, you don't have time to rent a bike at the ARC or whatever, ride it to class, then ride it back to the ARC and drop it off. It's kind of inconvenient right now and a little clumsy. So that's something we really like to do, is try to transition that. And I think that's something with USG's budget we could probably pay for regular maintenance on the bikes and things like that.
Okay, well, I think it'd be great to have more bike pathways in itself, because I think that's a major problem. Students are always running into bikes, and I'm always getting honked at or something. But I think if we do increase bike usage, I think you need to have specific pathways that are designated, because I come actually from Arizona, and there's you can't go anywhere without bike pathway. So I think it's important to have that. I also think it's important to have better transportation for bus services. I think a lot of students. I think it's really used a lot, but I think it could be used more and hopefully cut back on some of the traffic, maybe especially off-campus areas, or students who are a little further than the general immediate off-campus, because that might cut back on some traffic, as well as parking passes. I'm sure they're expensive here on campus, and it would alleviate some of the problems.
As far as just in general making it greener, more pedestrian, biker-friendly campus. I believe that's something that the university is sort of looking at moving towards down the road. Beginning early now with the Sasaki plan, the master plan for the next 50 years, I think it is. And I think that that plan does sort of call for us to be more a greener, more pedestrian and bike-friendly campus. And so I think the university is moving towards that already. We definitely support that, because I think it makes it look less like a city and more like its own Ohio State, community, its own Ohio State city, which is prettier and everything else in the surrounding Columbus area.
So I think that one of the things that Jake and I are concerned with are maybe rectifying the things that deter students from wanting to walk on campus and deter students from, wanting to ride the buses that we already have. I think that in and of itself could alleviate a lot of the problem that we have with students that maybe, live down in 11th or live somewhere, past the lane, but drive to class anyway and park because it's just more convenient for them. And so two of the ways that we want to do that is first by changing the East Residential bus system so that we split the route into a North ER and a South ER. It wouldn't cost the university any money. We would keep the same amount of buses, but just make it so that the loops are shorter and we have two of them. And that way students that live on opposite ends of campus aren't waiting, sometimes up to 30 minutes in the winter for a bus, and they're deterred from driving their car and actually do use the system that's already in place. And then for those students that do walk, we want to set up a designated walker program. And specifically, this is something that's kind of concerning for students that live in the off-campus areas that are not well lit. We want to make sure students feel safe walking around campus, and so this would be something that we'd work with student safety services to do, where rather than waiting hours for the safety van to come pick them up, they can just have someone walk them to wherever they need to go, and it kind of allows students to want to be on campus and not want to just jump in their car the minute that they can.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any question?
This is a quick one. What do you think is the best thing and one of the top things that USG has done for High State University?